Hello and welcome to the Extreme Stream with Real Crypto. As we wait for real people to join the live stream. Loney, you are first. Is it Loney? I think it's Loney. I don't want to butcher your name. Fake person here. Hello, fake person. Camping was pretty good. Pretty good. Lonnie? Okay. Lonnie. Alright, Lonnie. I'll try to remember that. Francesco, Christopher, how was everybody? How'd you guys fare over the weekend? I kept checking in on the crypto space and really not much happening. Your mom can't spell. Well, good thing you may be able to change your name. Voltaire, how you doing, buddy? How's the weekend treating everyone? How's the weekend treating everybody? Lonnie, by the way, I'll tell your mom that you told her that, just so you know. I'll let her know. I'll let her know that. Whoa. What's going on? Kevin, Christopher. Camping was pretty good, relaxing, nice, and a nice change, a break away from the computer. Everybody needs to do that from time to time. I guess even I do. Let's take a look at some charts and some things I've been kind of noticing recently. I'm going to switch my theme here to TradingView Dark theme. I think that is a much nicer theme. One thing that I have noticed is that Bitcoin is exponentially stronger than Ethereum. If you guys haven't noticed that so far, look at Ethereum. Really has this flatter kind of. It's been in this wedge. It's kind of stuck in this wedge here. And we may or may not break down from this wedge in Ethereum. It's hard to say. And if we do, it's hard to say if Bitcoin will follow. The market seems to have diverged here a little bit. Bitcoin's kind of doing its own thing. Ethereum's kind of doing its own thing. So, yeah, look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin just nice and strong. It has this well-defined trend line. If there's a break of this trend line, you need to look for support at prior highs. This would be a big support level at 4,100. This kind of lone top out here, that would be a big support level. Also 4,000 where these two bottoms are. 4,000 would be a really good place to pick up some Bitcoin if it gets down to this level. But you know, maybe we just continue on this trend line and march higher. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens. Neo, one of our market leaders that we've been discussing, had this cup with handle, broke out of this cup with handle. So here's the handle. Let's draw this for you guys that are a little less chart inclined. So boom, this is your handle formation in this cup with handle. Very nice cup. The handle has a lot of volume in it, which isn't ideal, but I guess we'll take what we can get. Then we broke out of here, and volume's been pretty good. A lot of green bars, nothing crazy, but nothing bad either. Just really marching higher, looking really good from here. Omisego is one that has not been doing so well. We've been discussing Omisego having a very large run-up, 2,500% from its ICO up until its highs of 1,350, and we've been talking about it needs to consolidate here, which it's doing. It's actually looks like it's actually broken this trend line. It has another trend line right here that looks like, yeah, it was broken. So this is some further bearish action for Omisego. This kind of implies that we're gonna go lower. We're gonna go lower. If anybody held on to First Blood, oh my goodness, it hit my target like to a T, and then just came all the way back. It actually, that's not what I wanted. So First Blood, if you guys remember, we tweeted out an entry on First Blood. It failed the entry, but sometimes with trading, you kind of have to keep an eye on things. And First Blood broke out of this trend line, this inverted head and shoulders. Look at that, basically touched See if I can zoom in here. Come on. There we go. A little more. We can do it. Look at that. Boom, in like 3 bars, 4-hour bars, about 12 hours. Came up, touched that trend line, then reversed all the way back down. Unbelievable. After we entered over here, and then it just consolidated, volume flattened out, shook us out. We've actually talked about this pattern. Alright guys, sorry about that. My little work laptop is not doing it. I'll have to figure out something else, guys. Sorry about that, but thanks for bearing with me. Yeah, it says we're live here on the Extreme stream, so that's cool. Looks like everyone, I don't know if you guys even heard anything that I say. Sorry about that, guys. Walton coin, I can't pull up a chart on Walton coin. I can try to look at that. Coin market cap, possibly. So Avenge was all cash, missed some appreciation. I did as well. Going fishing in Florida for a week tomorrow, Lonnie. That's going to be tough, buddy. Crypto Street, nice to see you on the live stream. Thank you very much. So yeah, I can't get Walton coin on TradingView, unfortunately. Extreme stream. That's right, Marin. You're the man. Internet of People, are they still running? Is Internet of People still running? Where is the... What happened to my charts? Sorry, gentlemen and ladies, having... Oh, there we are. Sorry. Okay. Someone mentioned Litecoin. Let's take a look at Litecoin. I was looking at that earlier in the day. It's not looking super healthy here. Looks like it's starting to point downwards. Just look here. You got Bitcoin up 40.47%, Ethereum down 2, Litecoin down 2. So we definitely have Bitcoin leading everything at this moment in time. Looks like Neo's up a little bit as well. Neo's a leader. You really need to keep an eye on Neo, especially for the altcoins. I think Bitcoin's kind of in its own bubble, but the rest of the altcoins, I think, are kind of following Neo's lead here. I don't think you're going to get a big breakdown until Neo breaks. That's kind of my opinion. But Omisego's getting taken back of the woodshed there. But yeah, Litecoin, let's zoom in. So Litecoin has kind of a symmetrical triangle that could go either way. Right now it's not looking super bullish. So not looking super bullish. I would look for a definite bottoming bar or a break of this symmetrical triangle pattern before I would consider Litecoin long. Either or, if we have a really nice shakeout with really good volume, maybe try to take a position with a tight stop loss if you wanted to trade some Litecoin. The hodlers of Litecoin, a bit of a different story. But if we get down below 45 again in Litecoin, that's gonna mean problems. That means this is definitely a dead cat bounce, very anemic. And if that happens in Litecoin, most of the other coins are going to be kind of down that road, that same rabbit hole as well. So we'll just kind of have to see. Somebody mentioned Walton coin. See if I can get to coin market cap. So that's the only way I can look at Walton coin. I'm not sure what exchange they trade on. So what is Walton coin doing? Sorry guys, I can't see chat while I'm kind of going up here. 22%. Good for you. That's great. Hey, wow, look at that. There's a very nice buy point right there after this. Here's a nice cup with a handle. There's a buy point. Very nice. Kind of break of this high right here would have been a really good entry. Yeah, it looks like a 400% increase. That's phenomenal. Why can't I get them on Coinigy or TradingView? Walton. Still can't get Walton coin. All right, when is BitConnect going to implode? When Bitcoin slows down? I have 140,000 in investments on there. I've taken out my principal, so it's just a lotto ticket at this point. BitConnect, let's see. Whoa. Okay, this is a... Yeah, I think I took this off my watch list. It's just a bunch of crazy nonsense. This is impossible to trade effectively. That's the key point there. Volume's been pretty up here, pretty good. A little rounding top, although it is popping. You're looking for it to go down. Is that what you're looking for it to do, Jamie the Demon? Ian, thank you, buddy. Camping was pretty fun. It was fun. Is Bitcoin going up because of hard fork? It's a possibility. It's a possibility, but I think that's going to happen in November, so I think that move is a little premature. Einsteinium. We can look at Einsteinium. Yeah, Jamie, if you're looking for it to go down, are you looking to buy back in at a lower point? Is that what you're talking about, Jamie? If you want this, if you want to buy this down at a lower point, it doesn't look very strong here. So, but man, look at the way this thing jumps. It's just really hard to call this. I don't want you to put your money at risk due to a recommendation that I make when this thing is just absolutely all over the place. I mean, come on, 4,000 to 2,750 in the same bar. That's crazy. That is just crazy. Do you just trade the big swings in this thing, or what's your strategy? I mean, I would really be interested to know how if you've traded this, if you've held this. So it's just something I really don't have a lot of exposure to. I'd like the knowledge. I don't think I'll do it, but the knowledge would be interesting. AEON. Let's take a look at that. My computer's having a hard time with keystrokes. This should be interesting. I'm just going to get out of these Coinigy tabs. It's going to take some back. Oh, not bad. Wow, what is this? This is like a 400% move up. 300% move up. We've consolidated. The question everyone's asking is, where do you get back in? Is that what I'm guessing is the question here? So this doesn't look like a horrible place. This is a consolidation before a prior run up. If you do get in here, it definitely could. You're definitely going to get some chop, but it could easily get back up to $3 from here, just with some pretty decent, a little bit of volume here. Yeah, that's like 35%. That's 40%. That's pretty spectacular. That being said, it definitely could get all the way down here to this 160 level with this consolidation. But if you want to pick up some here, and that doesn't look too bad. The volume on the downside is relatively low, so that implies that there's a lack of large selling, which is good. It means that there's some people holding up here. Let's back out here, get a bit of a bigger picture. Oh, that's such a nice run up right there off that $1.20 level. Man, very nice. Yeah, that $1.20 is, man, just kind of a textbook breakout. That's really spectacular. Yeah, so this is going to be good for some trades to come. It trades a little bit wide, but nothing too crazy. The volume signature is very nice. Just like with anything with trading, you need to make sure you have a stop loss in place, whether it be a mental stop loss or an actual order that you place in the exchange. But you need to always limit your risk on pretty much all of your trades. 10x. Miguel, sure, buddy, I can do 10x. Einsteinium. I did forget Einsteinium. You already know me too well, Frederick. Einsteinium dollar. Let's check it out. I think this is the one you mentioned, a potentially large cup with handle, right? I think you mentioned a cup with handle. This is not a cup with handle. I can already tell you that. We're already going back to July. There's no prior high near this level. This could be considered a cup with handle that we broke out of. So right here is kind of a large cup with handle. This could be the handle right here. Actually, this is just a small consolidation. Kind of the same thing like we saw with Aeon. A big price movement to the upside. Now we're consolidating. The volume isn't looking bad. Kind of benign volume on the consolidation. Bear with me as my computer is apparently a Celeron processor, even though it's not. It's Core i5. Do some stuff like an i5 would do. Come on. So I want to see the volume on this big down bar. So that's pretty good volume on that big down bar. It did close kind of up, so that is good. That means there was some accumulation on that bar. The next bar was high volume as well. So kind of seeing equilibrium here. You're going to have a trend line right here. That if it breaks this trend line, you can maybe place a trade off of that if you wish. There's obviously a larger trend line up here. You know, kind of something like that. So a couple places you can try to take trades on. You could do the same thing with Aeon. You could try to draw a trend line like that. Although that's a very steep trend line, so that wouldn't be a very accurate trend line. But you could try to place a trade off of that if you were really wanting to get in and get in aggressively. You can take really steep trend lines, and you know, it's hard to say if it's a valid breakout. But here, let's do this. Let's go to a smaller time frame, and then we'll get more valid. We'll get more valid entries if you were looking to get into Aeon. So as you can see, that's a bit of a more rational trend line right there. So that's a pretty good trend line right there. This is the 15-minute chart of Aeon. See, you have some nice volume here, poking it up. Now we're going sideways a little bit. We could break this trend line here relatively quickly. We could break that trend line relatively quickly. XVG, ADA. Let's look at XVG. XVG, again, we're on the 15. Let me go back out to the 4-hour. So XVG broke this trend line. I've drawn this before at some point. Yeah, we came up towards highs, so it looks like we're going to consolidate now for a possible another breakout. Possible other breakout. I don't anticipate it going much lower if this is a valid. This could be considered a cup, although this is kind of more of a W pattern, which is kind of like a cup. But a W is an undefined pattern that just means winner. A W is, so here's a W right here. See this W? So we could get a W here and then a breakup. This wouldn't be a horrible place to enter. You do have a natural stop at this prior high area, somewhere over here, the like 70 to 67 level. Somewhere in there would be a good potential stop loss. Not looking too bad up though. Volume is definitely on the low side on this pullback, which is very good. That's pretty good. So I mentioned ARC. All right, so what's ARC doing? Everybody loves ARC, but ARC never does. ARC never loves you guys back. If she doesn't love you back, just move on to the next one. Just move on to the next one. She doesn't love you, okay? It's just the way that it is. Abe Element. Nice. You made some good money on Walton. Good job. That's fantastic. I know you're one of my ladies in the chat room, so thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. You really bring a sense of class to the joint. All these guys are really making, it's just pretty stinky up in here. XMR and LTC. Let's look at XMR, which is Monero. Yeah, so Monero also not loving you back. Really just never. Monero just doesn't like you. Had a nice run up here, but we've kind of come down quite considerably. It may start, you know, this could be a decent place for some support. We see some support here. We see a resistance point which is broken. We see it supported here. So it could be supported here. If you do want to get into Monero, maybe this isn't the worst spot in the world, but again, you need to know when you're going to leave. Okay, have a plan when you're going to leave if you're going to trade this thing. So we did Litecoin, Diogo. Litecoin is not acting very well. It is pointing downward. It's in this kind of symmetrical triangle right now, so it can do anything within the symmetrical triangle, and when it breaks, that's going to be your sign one way or another what it's going to do. So you just kind of have to listen to the charts on that one. Definitely don't try to forecast. Neo next target. I'm assuming you're saying to the upside. So let's. Oh, I'm on the 4-hour chart. So there's really only two more targets in Neo. There's this one here at 42, the 4180 level, something like this, which is this high and this consolidation. Then there's pretty much the all-time highs in Neo if this thing continues upward. So there's not too many more targets from here. When we were talking about this consolidation, we had this as a target, and we also had this as a target. So up here, which it's already reached most of that level, so maybe we come back up here to 44, and then from there we're all-time highs into 56. There's not a lot of resistance past this 42 level. As you can see, we've only been in there a short amount of time. So any resistance up here is really going to be short-lived. There could be profit taking up there, though. We have a potential for a double top. A double top is a topping pattern, which you saw in Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum's double top. Ethereum's still looking weak. Alright, so here's a double top in Ethereum. Here's the 400 level, and then here it came up and almost touched 400, just double topped and just kind of destroyed the chart at that point. So now we're in kind of a recovery mode. You know, Hurricane Irma came right here and then just destroyed the chart. Now we're rebuilding. Pay. Yeah, Pay did not hold up nearly as good as Neo. Actually, when I got out of my positions before I went camping, I'm really glad I did with Pay. I thought about keeping something, but you know, it's just been not very good right here. So, okay, so here's the, what am I, in the 4-hour chart? What am I missing here? This does not look right. Oh, I'm still in Pay. 10x Pay token. Oh, okay, sorry guys. I'm thinking in... Okay, sorry. Okay, so here's the Visa move. I was looking over here for it. I'm like, this does not look right. Okay, so here's the Visa move. We broke out of this symmetrical triangle to the upside. Now we're consolidating, and we pulled back in a little bit more. The volume is not very bad right here. So we do have a bit of a double bottom here, which is good. A bit of a double bottom is good. I'd like to see more volume on this bar than we currently have. Come on. Sorry, I apologize. My computer is very slow. So we have a double bottom here in Pay. We just have to kind of see if this goes up. If this breaks this double bottom pattern to the downside, you need to have a point that you're going to get out, whether it be this 240 level, whether it be the low of this candle, which is 233. So you need to have a point that you're going to get out. I mean, if you've been holding since down here, then maybe you just get out the break-even level or a break at this 240. Neo, why isn't it a cup at the moment? Let's take a look at Neo. So first of all, a cup's going to be determined by your time frame, right? You could have different. I mean, there's really no prior discernible high. If you want to call this whole thing a cup, I think you're reaching a little bit. This is a definite top. You see how it came up and came back down. This is a definite top, just as this was a definite top, and it double topped and then did form a handle out of this larger cup. But you can't call this the left side of the cup, in my opinion. It's just not really viable. In the same way, I don't believe you can call any other high at this level the beginning of the cup. Like if you wanted to call this the beginning of the cup, you know what? I'm not going to, get into a fight over you with it. But it's This is a very viable cup. I'll just put it that way. This is a very viable cup with a handle, and so far we've broken out of this cup with handle, and we're just kind of in a holding mode at this moment in time. You know, it's going to do what it's going to do. Action is very healthy. Look at all the nice green bars. There's all these green bars all over the place. That's really nice. This red bar right here was kind of this bottom right here. So that's a good bottoming bar. And yeah, but I think this is your valid cup right here. Are you trading pay versus Bitcoin? Yeah, thanks, William. Camping was pretty fun. It was nice to get away from the screens and the computer and just kind of rebalance my life a little bit. I've been spending a lot of time working on the channel with you guys, and although I do enjoy it, at the same time, it just, man, I still have a lot of stuff to do outside of YouTube. So, but yeah, it was very fun. Let's see here. Is Qtum dead for now? Let's take a look at Qtum. Qtum looks like it's dead, but it has some support here at, what level is this? My time's in the way, I can't really see. Looks like that's the 26 level. Has some support at the 26 level, which makes sense because of this high, and kind of this high is about 26. So I think if it gets below 26, then it's dead. I think that move may be over, but this is kind of testing the lows. I would like to see larger volume down here, however, just to kind of confirm that this is a low area. But you know, price is what pays, so we can only go off what we see on the chart. Sometimes I don't get the volume that I want. When I want it, all I can say is that the sell-off is fairly benign from here on downward. Like you see this candle here with a large wick to the top and a large wick to the bottom on very large volume. That kind of implies a bit of a sideways movement at equilibrium in terms of the trading in that bar. But yeah, I don't think it's dead. I just don't think it, I mean, it's obviously not running. You need to give it, be a little patient with it. Like we saw with First Blood, and I've seen this with a lot of the altcoins with trying to trade these low patterns. Like, see, we're at lows here in Qtum. I mean, these are like the lows. So when you're trading patterns and lows, there's a lot of overhead supply, meaning people that bought on up here expecting to be positive that have been holding this whole time. So as the price gets higher, people tend to sell that are bag holders from back in these prior areas. Sherry, don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that sentiment. Go ahead and hit like if you haven't already. Subscribe. All that good stuff. I did not check Lisk. I can check Lisk. And Frederick wants to look at pay versus Bitcoin. We'll get to that. We'll do let's do Lisk because we haven't done Lisk. And then we'll see if we can do pay Bitcoin. Alright, let's see if I can find Lisk first. Yeah, Lisk again is one of those coins that just doesn't love you back. So, just doesn't love you back. I know the project is nice. I bet the people are really nice. I bet you they bring cupcakes into work and do all that kind of fun stuff to create a nice atmosphere for everyone. But we don't care about that because we pretty much make money based on what these charts do. So, yeah, if she doesn't love me back, I'm really not interested. And this is one of those charts that, even though if you like the project, you keep it on top of your watch list, that's perfectly fine. Look at it every hour, but don't put a dime into this thing until it looks like it wants to go up. I mean, Lisk versus Bitcoin, just never. We had this large, I've had this large pennant up here for a long time. I think since this high, I drew this pennant with this trend line and this trend line. And, you know, these two highs and this third. I think I drew this line here, and I was really bullish in this little consolidation, almost took a position. But again, I don't do that because it's not popping higher, right? You don't take a position until the coin is doing what you want it to do. You can't forecast on these coins. You can't say, okay, this thing's going to go to the moon, so I'm going to jump in when it hasn't even broken out yet. Because think about it. If you're holding a position in Lisk and you want to sell Lisk, preferably you can wait until it drifts higher. If it's drifting higher, and then you can sell it off at a higher price. So that's why these pops happen. That's why the top of these trend lines get put in, because the whales, the guys with all the money in the coins, they want to sell at these highs, and that's what they do, and they do it very well. So they sell at the highs, and that's why we have to wait for the highs to be eclipsed to know that that selling is over with. EMC2, let's check that out. You mentioned Bitcoin, so I'll do you a solid there. I'll do it versus Bitcoin. Oh, I already have it here versus the US dollar. Is this the one that we looked at earlier? I drew a trend line. We did look at it earlier. Pretty much the exact same chart. I don't see a whole ton different. I think this, yeah, you mentioned a cup with handle, Frederick. So, yeah, really, the time scale for a cup with handle isn't super long term. You can't do a cup with handle over the course of 2 years, because I'm just using that as an example, not saying you're doing that. But yeah, you really have to, there's no, like, if this is a cup with handle, this is probably your handle, and it's already broken out, right? Kind of like what we were talking about in Neo. So it's already broken out of this potential cup with handle. So this would be your high in the cup with handle. You really want the recent high. It should be a fairly clean cup. You don't want to have big spikes up like this, and it's not a cup with a handle. So if that makes any sense, Frederick. But yeah, I wouldn't get too caught up in the exact chart pattern. Obviously, if you're trying to learn and get the hang of it, of course we're going to go over these things. But I wouldn't really dwell on, is this a cup with handle? The right side of the chart is the side of the chart that's going to give you money. It's going to pay you. So you can look at the history and you can try to ascertain what's going to happen. But really, this is the side that counts right here. So all I can say is it's broken out from this, 2200 Satoshi level, if I'm saying that right. And the volume on this pullback isn't very large, so that indicates bullish for the chart, pretty much. Zoom out further. Okay. Oh, you're looking at Poloniex? Yeah, a rebrand on Lisk. You know what? In my opinion, guys, the whole rebranding thing of all these coins, why should that drive a price higher? I literally have no idea. What's the fundamental purpose behind the price going higher on a redesign of a website and a logo? It really doesn't mean much in my opinion. Did I see Regal coin jump almost 2,000 in 24 hours? I did not. I did not. Regal coin. See if I can get it. I cannot. That's probably why I didn't see it. EXP Bitcoin. Okay, we'll look at the Bitcoin charts. All you guys looking at Bitcoin charts. Sorry, I just threw up outside of my mouth a little bit there. I apologize about that, guys. Sorry. What are you looking at in this chart that makes you like it? Just the fact that it's low? I mean, I'm actually very curious. RDD versus Bitcoin looking interesting. Sorry, Holden, I'm not trying to make fun of you, buddy. Just kind of have a little bit of fun on the channel. But if you can't answer my question, what exactly are you interested in? I'll be more than happy to answer your question. Mineability. So you can. So you're wondering about if you want to mine this coin. Is that what you're saying? I think if you're going to mine a coin. If you're going to mine a coin, I think you need to look at the long-term viability of the project and see if you like it, if it's mineable. Because, you can mine it to get coins or you can buy it with cash to get coins, right? Those are the two ways to get coins. But either way, you're going to spend money. So if it's worth the time to mine the coin and if electricity costs aren't that bad where you live, then I say mine whatever you feel like. But you do need to take profitability into account and the overall the overall project likelihood to succeed, because you don't want to put time and money into something that's not going to do anything. Do I think it's ever going to go anywhere, Holden? That's not for me to say, buddy. That's really not for me to say. The chart is not good. Anything that likes to go back to lows and stay there, that means the miners are essentially selling the coins as soon as they get them, right? That's why Ethereum goes higher, because the people that mine Ethereum, they keep the coins. So it's a supply and demand thing. It's a supply and demand thing. So if you're mining Ethereum and you think Ethereum is going to go higher, you're going to keep Ethereum. If you don't think it's going to succeed, you're going to sell it immediately. So that's kind of what it looks like in Expanse. If this is a mineable coin, if this is a coin that you are mining or thinking about mining, anytime these things just like to run down to the bottoms, not very healthy action. You know, that being said, I know there's some websites that can tell you some profitable coins to mine, and I would go ahead and look at those coins and take a look at their charts and take a look at their use case and fundamentals and see if it's going to succeed longer term. I forgot IOP, or you don't like it. I like IOP. I'm the one that called out that flag before the thing ran 500%. Actually, I have IOP on here. Now, actually, I do like IOP. I don't know a ton about the coin, but the chart is gangbusters, and it trades really, really well. That coin just likes to be traded. It just says, trade me. Okay, here's IOP Bitcoin. Actually, I think even before I went out and went camping, this thing was setting up, and I think I called out. This is kind of a later night stream that I did, because the market kind of had a big shakeout on really good volume, and just Bitcoin popped right back up and screwed me. So, but yeah, IOP really trades extraordinarily well. Yeah, every time a trend line is broken, this thing kind of tends to go. So there's a trend line right here that it broke out of. It was very nice. So there's a really nice trend line breakout. I think we were looking at this one in the live stream. It hadn't broken out here yet. I think we were in one of these two candles, as a matter of fact. And then it actually went up, yeah, like 30%. We mentioned that there's a potential 30% gain there. But yeah, so now we're just kind of sitting at the lows. This is a less healthy pattern. If you notice, this low is much more of a, you can draw a very clear trend line. This kind of is dipping lower. So I think we're losing interest in IOP. This is probably going to, at this point in time, going to become a less tradable coin. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it, but I think you need to be, it's going to take a different trading style. It kind of has what I call a change in behavior at this moment in time. You see this nice run up and an orderly pullback, nice run up, orderly pullback, nice run up. This is a little bit less orderly. Starting to stair step. This thing was never really a stair stepper to the downside. It just kind of trounced downward here, trounced downward here. Now it's kind of stair stepping. So a little bit of a change in behavior. But yeah, if you see some volume in this thing crossing a trend line, like it does still have a trend line up here. So you can take that trend line. If it crosses that trend line, then yeah, maybe you get another 30% movement out of IOP. Fully possible. Wings versus Bitcoin have a chance to bounce from the trend line. I'm not sure if I've seen Wings before. Let's take a look at Wings. Guys, I'm going to go for about 10 more minutes, and I got to get back to work. Oh, you said Bitcoin. Sorry. Yeah, about 10 more minutes or so, then we're gonna call it a day here. Nice to get back on the live stream. It's been a lot of fun looking at the charts with you guys, answering questions, throwing up a little bit on the live stream is always fun. That's why we call it the Extreme Stream. Okay, so you're talking about this trend line right here. The other trend line I see looks like it's about 1500. So you have this longer term trend line right here. Whoops, that's kind of in a weird. Then you have there's a couple of trend lines you can draw here, and they each get more bearish than the last. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to trade anything off of a trend line break, I'm not going to be mad at you. You just need to understand where your stop is. But yeah, I don't mind at all trend line breaks. I think that's a very viable trading strategy. The problem is it needs to be if it's a well-defined trend line like IOP, the trend lines in IOP that we saw were just, I mean, just textbook. Here we go. Yeah, so like this trend line in IOP, I mean, come on, just crazy trend lines in IOP. There's a nice trend line here. There was a nice trend line here on the 2-hour chart. This is a nice trend line break to the downside. There's this was kind of a triple top right here that broke out of. Nice trend line here. So anything that trades well, you can make money on, guys. Omisego bottomed. I don't know about that. I'm not a super fan of Omisego. Bitcoin going down or going up for making 5,000 USD checkpoint. Hard to say. A lot of people bullish on metal. Good time to buy. So that's another thing. You're going to see the Twitter feeds. You're going to see all these kind of Reddit posts. You know, anytime you see a lot of interest in a coin, I definitely think you look at it. You look at every coin, right? You got to look at opportunities. But at the same time, you have to trade a plan or a strategy that you're comfortable with. And if it's not doing what you expect it to do or you want it to do, just go to the next one. There's hundreds of coins, people. You don't have to trade everything that people are pumping. This particular one here, it is at a low of this consolidation. So if you want to buy it, I say you make the low of this consolidation your stopping point. It does have an upward sloping trend line right here, which may be construed into a channel. Let's check it out. So there's a bit of a trend line. We're going to right click that. If my computer will let me, we're going to clone it, which is control drag. I'll remember that for next time. And we're going to have kind of a so there's a bit of a channel right there. It's in an upward trending channel. These usually get broken to the downside. It's just kind of the way things work. Not saying it is, but these usually get broken to the downside. XRP, we have not looked at XRP. Omisego, I am a fan of the project. I'm not a fan of its chart pattern. So for those of you new to the stream or the channel, Omisego has had a 2,500% up move from its ICO to the 1350 area where it double topped up here. And it has yet to really consolidate that move. It just has yet to consolidate that move. Any kind of run-up needs to be sold into. People need to take profits. At that point, everyone knows about Omisego, right? Everybody knows about Omisego. So the people that have been in it for a long time are starting to take profits. And then what needs to happen, I'm not saying this. Okay, I'm going to do a Bitcoin reference here. I'm not saying this is going to happen to Omisego, but all I'm saying is that what happens is that when you have like extremes in coins, you know, I'm going to use this Bitcoin 1200 top, wherever it is. Where is it at? But yeah, so people over here, right? Is this the right chart? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that anytime something has an extraordinarily big run-up and then it consolidates, everyone, all you guys that trade it, I'm not calling you individually, but me too, everyone that trades Omisego needs to start hating it again, and then you forget about it, and then that's when it starts turning up, is when you forget about it. It's just kind of the way things work. Just kind of the way things work. The charts will wear you out, and your job as a trader, part of it is to keep an eye on these coins that do make really good runs and has consolidated. Like if you've noticed, not too many people have been talking about Ethereum. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin. Everyone's talking about the altcoins, but you know, Ethereum at some point in time is going to be an excellent. Ooh, wait a minute now. Hold on a second. Hold the phone, people. Let's see if we can do some live charting here. I haven't seen this yet anywhere. So this could be a real crypto exclusive. Interesting. Interesting potential symmetrical triangle in Ethereum. Very interesting. That could be a interesting pattern. That gives us a different roadmap. I was kind of a little bit lost in Ethereum just because of the double top that it did, and it never quite came down to the 180. I'm wondering why it wasn't trading exactly how it should, and I think this is why. Maybe we have a large symmetrical triangle in Ethereum. So there you go, guys. Draw this on your charts on Ethereum. If it gets to an extreme, then you know, if it gets down to this trend line at some point in time, you know you can buy off that trend line. If it gets to this extreme, you can sell up. You can sell up here. Anyway, that's interesting. If you guys are just seeing that, that's a real crypto exclusive right there. Do you know how do you know when an uptrend is dwindling? A couple of ways to know when an uptrend is dwindling, actually. Is QDM trying to bounce on the 786 fib level? Maybe, if that's the 786 fib level, it's possible. I don't have fibs on QDM, but you know, it's bottoming around that, I think it was 60 level, 60 cent level. The uptrend is dwindling. I'm going to answer this, and then I'm going to get out of here, everybody. So, thank you, Abe Element. Why the Abe Element? What is Abe? I struggle with you having Abe and then you being a woman. I'm like, do I call you Abe? That just sounds very weird to me, now that I know you're a woman. Anyway, an uptrend is dwindling. I'm actually going to use Bitcoin as an example, although I'm not going to say exactly that it's dwindling, but I just want to, it's just been something on the chart that I've been looking at. So one way you can tell when it's dwindling is you see these big volume pops. So this is an obvious uptrend in Bitcoin here, right? Pretty obvious uptrend in Bitcoin. You see the large volume pops subsiding to the upside. So that's the first thing you're going to look for, is the volume kind of flattening out. Okay, you're also going to notice it's going to get to a prior resistance level. Okay, so like here we're kind of double topping out here, and we're just kind of chopping around right now. Also, you can notice that these jumps get less pronounced. So see, these jumps get smaller and smaller and smaller, where these are large jumps. This is a large jump. This is a small jump. This is a small jump. That means that the buying is less intense. It doesn't mean that we have intense selling, just means the buying is less intense. Another way to tell, so that's one way to look at it. I think, was it Neo that had a bit of a topping candle on it? Yeah, so right here. So now this, you know, this is a bit of a shorter term time frame, but the same practices and principles remain in the shorter time frame than in the large, longer term time frames, like the 4-hour and the daily. You see this large red candle here and this large red candle here. That can tell you that a move is basically done with. It, you know, now anything can go higher anytime, anything can go lower anytime, but this red candle is the biggest candle since this green candle. You know, in the middle of that run up. So that right there tells you that this move is over. I actually knew this move was over when that candle happened. I did hold my position. That was a conscious choice. I even second guessed myself when I made that choice, and I shouldn't have. I should have just sold out. But anyway, that's a topping. It the same way you can kind of tell when something bottoms, like this big red candle. This big red candle was a bottoming candle. Now, I didn't know it at that moment in time, and you know, maybe not too many people did either, but you know, once it starts turning upward, you can be like, okay, this thing's going to move. And then you can, maybe you get in here over the top of that candle for kind of a safe entry. So you can tell topping by large volume and long price bars. I didn't mention the height of the price bar is also a consideration. So all these price bars are smaller compared to this red one. So that's kind of another way to tell too. So those two combined, large price bar with the large volume signature. Those are definitely different ways to check out a top. Someone asked Ripple. I will ask Ripple, then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Kind of have to do that. Eva. All right. That makes me feel better. All right, Eva. Now at least I have something to call you. Okay, someone mentioned Ripple. Let's check out Ripple. And then I'm going to get out of here on the extreme stream. Ripple. Bit of a symmetrical triangle forming. I can tell that right away. So yeah, Ripple kind of a symmetrical triangle. As a matter of fact, Dash kind of had the same thing, although last time I looked at it, it had failed. Yeah, look at that. Symmetrical triangle. Just failed it. Just failed that symmetrical triangle. Dash said, no thank you. I don't want nothing to do with you guys making money. I'm going to go my own way. So forget you, Dash. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Ripple, symmetrical triangle. So when you see these symmetrical triangles, guys, this doesn't mean buy. What this means is I need to see what happens when this thing breaks the symmetrical triangle. That's really what that means. So, although this is a nicer looking symmetrical triangle, it does have a decent little uptrend here. It does have a nice little uptrend, so maybe Ripple's going to go a little bit higher. We'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. I kind of feel Ripple is a better coin than Dash. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that, but just by the chart, I mean, just by the chart. All right, guys. So there's the Extreme stream. Thank you much for hanging out. There you go, guys. Have a good day. I will see you guys later. Aaron, about my chart knowledge, just you know, 15, 16, 17 years of looking at charts every day. I've seen millions and millions of charts. Millions and millions of charts. Actually, if you go to my website, real-crypto.com, I do have some really good books. I don't really want to... So let's do this. Go to real-crypto.com. Actually, I need to do a blog today on it. I haven't really pumped this website that much. I'm still in the middle of developing it. Trading resources right here. If you go to trading resources, these are excellent books. These are excellent books on trading in general as well as charts. The Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Bilkowski is a really good book. It has dozens of chart patterns, just all kinds of different chart patterns. Now again, this is predicated on the stock market, so many of the statistics probably won't be viable to cryptocurrency, but as we've seen, the chart patterns are the chart patterns are the chart patterns. So you can get a feel for what they mean, what they do, how they form, things of that nature. This is the second edition. I have the first edition. Apparently they're not printing this one anymore. This has more chart patterns. I haven't actually purchased that book yet. And these two books down here are kind of this is like the trading Bible for stocks, in my opinion. I would say about 70% of it will transfer to cryptos quite well. Obviously, when they talk about earnings and stocks, that's not relevant, things of that nature. And then this book right here, the red book, How to Make Money in Stocks Success Stories, everybody should buy this book. Crypto stocks or not, and preferably buy it through my site because I'll get like 12 cents or something. Yeah, this book's $8. It's a very low cost book. It's a pretty quick read. And what this book goes over, this book talks about all the success stories of people that made money using this book. And it's just really phenomenal. I forget if they have like 10 or 12 different people that they interviewed, but they all have slightly different stories. They all trade differently, and they all overcame different obstacles to achieve trading success. It's not a boring book. It's not fluff. It's just, man, it's just a good book. I've read that book like 4 times. So, all right, guys, there you go. Have a good day. I will see you guys later.